While Sir John A. Macdonald built the Dominion of Canada, his greatest and most painful secret was hidden inside his own home. Behind the political triumphs lay the heart-wrenching tragedy of his daughter Mary, a story history tried to forget. Today, we uncover the hidden pain of Canada's founding father. Topic 1. The Illusion of Power versus Mary Macdonald's Devastating Diagnosis. To really understand the true character of a great leader, we've got to look at what he faces far from the applause and the public spotlight. Back in 1869, Sir John A. Macdonald was at the very peak of his political journey, stitching together the historic deals that would give life to the unified Canada we know today. While the whole country was celebrating him as a giant, the backstage of his personal life was falling apart with the birth of his daughter Mary. The news that the little girl was dealing with severe hydrocephalus hit the family like a lightning bolt, bringing a devastating diagnosis that medicine at the time considered pretty much a death sentence. The plain hard truth is that all the political influence in the world couldn't heal the pain of a father who felt utterly powerless in the face of his own child's fragility. Wow, that rough shift between public glory and personal trials teaches us a fundamental lesson about human resilience in uncertain times. In timeless classics of personal development, like the celebrated Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, we learn that real triumph isn't about the absence of problems, but about the ability to stay focused through the storm. If you want to put that mindset into practice in your own life today, start by mapping out your biggest current challenges in a notebook and sorting them into what's within your control and what needs to be accepted with a bit of peace. That's exactly the balance the Canadian leader was trying to strike every single day just to keep from breaking down. He had to swallow his tears closing the door at home, and then stand up and speak with total confidence in Parliament minutes later. The real crux of the matter is that Victorian society back then had zero empathy for anything that strayed from what the elites considered perfect. The expectations surrounding the Prime Minister were enormous, and any sign of family weakness could have been used by his rivals to destabilize the government. Macdonald faced a quiet dilemma, trying to shield his daughter from public stigma while desperately searching for a spark of hope in medicine. Every smile he forced in front of the crowds hid the anguish of going home to a place where his daughter's future was a constant unknown. That relentless search for answers would eventually push the family into some pretty drastic and risky financial and medical decisions. Topic 2. The hidden costs and sacrifices of a father in the Victorian era. In the Victorian era, the social stigma around children with special needs meant a lot of noble families would rather just keep them hidden from the world. Sir John A. Macdonald decided to swim completely against the current of his time and made a real commitment to give little Mary the best possible quality of life. He poured personal fortunes he didn't even really have into it, taking on heavy loans to pay for experimental treatments and cumbersome metal braces for the little girl's legs. The plain hard truth is that the massive financial burden and constant emotional stress pushed him into serious bouts of alcoholism, all while he tried to balance the family budget alongside the country's finances. Every cent spent on Mary's health represented a quiet battle against financial ruin. Wow! This unwavering dedication from the Canadian leader gives us a powerful lesson about real priorities and how we manage our resources in the face of adversity. In respected works on practical wisdom and finances, like the well-known The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason, it's made clear that true wealth exists to protect and honor what's most sacred to us. If you want to apply that lesson to your everyday life today, set up an emergency fund dedicated exclusively to your family's well-being, putting aside at least 10% of your monthly income as that safety net. While critics accused him of being out of control, Macdonald put his love for his daughter above any financial status or political reputation. He spared no effort to make sure she had dignity. The mystery behind that exhausting routine was how the Prime Minister managed to keep his sanity and mental clarity to govern the next day. The real crux of the matter is that his personal life turned into a race against time, where every new medical attempt brought a mix of hope and deep frustration. He'd spend sleepless nights beside his daughter's crib, going over state documents by candlelight, his mind split between the fate of the nation and the little girl's suffering. That constant sacrifice shaped the character of a father who refused to give up, even when all the odds were stacked against him. And it was exactly that unconditional love at home that renewed his strength to face the massive battles waiting for him in Parliament. Real, powerful stories like this one show us the human side that history books usually leave out. If you're into this kind of investigative content and want to help us hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers, subscribe to the channel right now. Your subscription really matters so we can keep bringing you fascinating biographies, behind-the-scenes looks at power, and history's greatest mysteries every week. Topic 3. The weight of shaping a nation while carrying a silent grief. While Canada was going through its biggest historical transformation, building the Grand Transcontinental Railway, the man leading the country was carrying a pain invisible to the public eye. Man, just picture it. By day, Macdonald was fighting fierce political battles in Parliament to unify the provinces. By night, he'd get down on the floor of the bedroom to play dolls with little Mary. The plain hard truth is that building an entire country felt small compared to the daily challenge of watching his daughter struggle against the limits of her own body. He used Mary's love and innocent smile as a real emotional refuge to get through the betrayals and pressures of political power. Wow, that striking contrast between professional duty and human fragility gives us a really valuable insight into resilience and life purpose. In essential books on leadership and emotional intelligence, like the celebrated The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill, we learn that the greatest achievements come from minds that have learned to turn personal pain into driving force for their work. If you want to apply that wisdom to your daily routine today, figure out your main reason for living, your deepest why, and use it as daily fuel whenever exhaustion tries to make you give up on your business or career. Macdonald found in his daughter's eyes the motivation he needed to never give in to despair or abandon his historic mission. Mary's presence in the Prime Minister's life humanized a leader that history has often painted as nothing more than a cold, pragmatic strategist. The real crux of the matter is that, far from the fiery speeches and behind-the-scenes dealings, there was an ordinary man who found peace in the simple act of carrying his daughter after an exhausting day of work. That double life required enormous mental control from him, so the tears from home wouldn't cloud his government decisions. The balance was fragile, but his love for Mary kept him steady in moments when anyone else would have caved under the pressure. And that unbreakable bond would leave deep marks on the legacy the Macdonald family would build for future generations. Topic 4. The legacy of love and history's judgment of the Macdonald family. Despite all the grim medical predictions that gave her only a few years to live, Mary Macdonald beat the odds and lived to the age of 64. Man, she outlived her own parents and left behind a quiet testament to the strength of family love in the face of life's toughest hardships. The plain, hard truth is that the intimate letters exchanged between Sir John A. Macdonald and his wife Agnes reveal that the true essence of Canada's founder wasn't carved into bronze statues or written into past laws, but in his everyday devotion to his daughter. History's careful eye has finally restored the image of a loving father who did everything he could to protect the one he loved most. Wow! This moving historical ending gives us a timeless lesson about what really matters as we build our own path and reputation. In masterpieces that shape winning mindsets and lasting legacies, we learn that true success isn't measured just by material achievements or fancy titles, but by the real, positive impact we leave on the lives of those close to us. If you want to apply that principle to your life today, make it a priority to spend quality time with your family every day and align your professional ambitions with your most human values. Macdonald proved to the world that empathy and top-level leadership can and should go hand in hand. The journey of Mary and her father challenged the prejudices of an entire era and shows us that behind big historical events, there are real hearts beating and real lives being lived. The real crux of the matter is that the Macdonald family's story of overcoming became a quiet symbol of hope and dignity that still inspires generations today. Whenever we dig deep into the biographies of great leaders, we realize that their noblest decisions were forged in the fire of their most intimate and painful battles. This moving story of love and resilience is coming to a close, but the reflection on the true price of leadership will keep echoing in our minds. Conclusion: we've reached the end of this moving journey through the hidden life of Sir John A. Macdonald and his daughter Mary. Looking at the founder of Canada's story from this angle shows us that behind great empires, laws, and monuments, there are real human beings facing deep pain and dilemmas. The true strength of a leader isn't measured by the absence of suffering, but by the dignity with which he carries his personal crosses while still doing his duty to the world. Wow! This powerful example of fatherly love and resilience leaves us with an essential reflection for our own daily journey. In renowned works of personal development and practical wisdom, like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, it's made clear that our ability to overcome hardships and build a lasting legacy depends on our willpower in the toughest moments. If you want to apply this lesson today, commit to facing your biggest obstacles with courage and love, remembering that your daily battles are what truly shape your character. The Macdonald family's story of love and sacrifice stands as a quiet testament that empathy and affection are the noblest pillars of human existence. The real crux of the matter is that a man's true legacy isn't written only in a nation's official records, but in the impact and dedication with which he protects the people he loves. May this leader's courage and his daughter's smile inspire you to face any challenge with your head held high. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.